Hello and welcome to ANTIC episode 122 for October 2025. My name is Randy Kindig. I'm the host of this particular episode, along with my typical co-host or the typical co-host that we have for this show, Brad Arnold. Hey, Brad, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
And Kay Savitz coming to us from Portland, Oregon. How are
Hello,
you,
hello.
Kay?
Good, good. Sorry, I'm not an atypical co-host.
You are atypical in every way. So,
Wait, I'm offended about by that too.
all right, before I get myself into too much trouble, let's go ahead and talk about what we've been up to in the entire world. And Kay, I'm going to extend the olive branch and let you go first.
Why, thank you. I'm gonna be here for a minute. It's been a busy month for me personally in the Atari world. Let's see. Mark Knudsen sent me a bunch of Atari newsletters, including a 2-inch binder of Atari newsletters from August 1987. Um, Collective. So let me tell you the story about this. The Jersey Atari Computer Group, which we have talked about many times, and their newsletters.
Hmm.
They had a great newsletter, and we've been trying to collect them all. So this group was based in New Jersey, and um, they, in addition to publishing their own newsletters, they had a newsletter exchange. They collected other newsletters from other groups into binders and organized them by publication date. And so Mark ended up with the club's collection of newsletters with a cover date of August 1987. And it's 49 newsletters, mostly from the United States, one from Canada, one from Australia, 49 Atari computer newsletters. Um, and so he sent them to me, and I scanned them all and put them up on Internet Archive in two ways. One is the Atari newsletter time capsule for August 1987, which is a 700 plus page document of every one of these newsletters. And then I also uploaded the newsletters individually, just for readability. So we've got these 49 newsletters, and then I added GACG's own newsletter into it for that month, just to make it an even 50, and because they deserve to be represented. And so it's this amazing collection of newsletters from, published all around the same time. Some of them are 8-bit newsletters, some of them are ST newsletters, some of them are both. Most of them, I think, are both. And it is a perfect stored in amber time capsule of what was going on in the Atari computer world at this time. It's kind of amazing. Um, and I'm started to read through them and I love it. I think I'm gonna do something with it. I might write an article or turn it into a podcast special feature, depending on how long it is, about just like the overall like zeitgeist of like what the scene was, what was going on at the time. What were people worried about? There was some Atari show that had been canceled, and a lot of the articles are about that. And then the Mega STs had just been announced, but people are mad about Atari about, are we forsaking the Atari 8-bit, or are we moving
8 bits.
forward? So anyway, it's really amazing. And thanks, Mark, for that. And we got it all. I got it all scanned, and it's all available and readable and searchable now on Internet Archive. Yeah, and I just need to sit down and read them all and then write something and see what happens with that. So maybe more will be involved, revealed about that in the future. I've been trying to reach out. I mean, I assume this is something they did every month, for some period of time. They had this newsletter exchange. They collect them into these binders, and um, I'm trying to find someone from the club who to find out if the rest of these still exist. What happened to every other one of these from 87 or 86 or 88 or however long they did this. Um, I mean, because that would just be an amazing continuation of saving some Atari history. And some of the newsletters in here are newsletters that we haven't heard of too much before. Uh, from I don't know, some of them we have, and some of them is just like, oh, I'm not too familiar with this newsletter. The Pokey Press and the Australian Atari Gazette, and uh, the what's this one called? Keeping Pace from Pittsburgh Atari Computer Enthusiasts. Anyway, I think it's just cool, and I think it's kind of amazing that at one point in time there were more than 50 Atari computer groups in the United States.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I don't doubt that.
and
Yeah.
all these little clubs and users groups and things. And anyway, it's amazing. So check out those newsletters. They're a lot of fun to read. There'll be links in the show
Very
notes.
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm also continuing. Oh, I started to scan the material from Harry Stewart's estate. I mentioned last episode that he had died. His obituary was since published in the San Jose Mercury News. I have put a link to that. Said he passed away at his home at the age of 84. And it does not really mention Atari in it. It was a speck in his life, a long life well lived, where he did a lot of other things. It says but it does say he was talented in math and worked on complicated math problems for fun, and he liked to hike. So that's there. Anyway, so I found did the obit, and I started going through the things that he sent, that Melanie sent, and scanning what I hadn't scanned before. Because as I think I said last episode, he had lent me some things many years ago. I scanned them. They've been online for a while now, but now this is the old stuff plus some new stuff. So I'm going through it and saying like what needs to be scanned. So let's see. We have some of the things I scanned that are new are the Microtech computer systems 6500 relocatable macro assembler manual. Some articles from Bruce Sherwood about speech synthesis. And there's a letter in it that like Mr. Sherwood, who was at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, had in 1983 sent Harry a bunch of material that Harry had requested about speech synthesis. We have the Atari 8-bit speech handler preliminary specification for a spec for a parallel bus speech handler to support the SC01 speech chip. I think that turned into for instance, the speech thing in the 1400 XL, I assume. A memo from Steve Briscoe about edits to the Atari 810 drive manual, Atari 810 rearboard schematic, Atari 810 disk controller firmware memo, a lot of Atari internal memos, making edits on things. This memorandum discusses some of the pros and cons regarding the release of the version E of the 810 disk controller versus version C. Most of the technical information contained in this memo was obtained from Dave Stogis' report dated November 18th, 1980. So a bunch of 810 stuff, and let's see and the Atari 810 disk drive controller program report, which is a barely readable dot matrix printout that's 16 pages about just technical stuff about from creating the 810 drive. And some of these things, including this one, there are multiple versions of the memo. There'll be like multiple printouts that were like someone would write a report or something and then send it off to several colleagues who would make up markup edits and send them back to the original author to suggest changes. So we might have 2 or 3 different versions of the same document marked up by different people. And so that's kind of neat. You can see into their process so that was working on the Harry Stewart stuff. There's still a big pile over here behind me, and I'm going to continue on it as I have time. Number 3 for me. I have been working on a project. I found a trove of old Usenet newsgroup uh, data, and just dumps of old Usenet discussions. So I pulled out all the ones I could find. I pulled out all the ones I could find regarding Atari topics. This is still a work in progress. What we have, for instance, is the comp.sys.atari Usenet discussions between June 1988 and September 2004. We have the text file, which is all searchable and everything, but the PDF, just to give you a sense of that, is almost 600 pages. And the very first one in the thing happens to be from me, and I'm schooling someone about copyright law. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know how I was doing that, but what I have so far is comp.sys.atari, comp.sys.atari.announce, which I was moderator of for a while, comp.sources.atari st, and then from the earlier Usenet before the great renaming, net.micro.atari, net.micro.atari 8, and net.micro.atari st. So it's neat to read these old discussions, and there's a lot of great history in there and old names that old timers might remember. And there's more to come. There's other discussion groups that didn't render right. They're too long. They're too many pages. I need to break them up. So anyway, that's what I have so far. You can search old Usenet discussions. Used to be able to do that on, Deja News or Google, some Google search thing for searching Usenet, and they keep taking all that stuff away. So I'm putting it back for Atari stuff. And finally, APX programs. So I'm talking about archiving, continuing to archive all the APX, Atari Program Exchange programs. For years, Alan Bushman and me, mostly Alan, a little bit me, have been trying to archive the manuals and the software for every APX program. And Alan updated the list of what we need, and the list is really short. It's getting down there. So I'm going to list out every manual we need from APX program and every program we need. And it's not that many. And just to clarify, we are looking for the APX version of these things. For instance, some of the programs were released by APX and also later or simultaneously someone else. We're looking for the APX versions of these things.
Okay, because I was going to ask that question because I have some that are from ANTIC,
Yes.
right?
Right, sure,
And
absolutely. Because after APX went out of business, ANTIC started churning out its versions
I
of
don't know
some
if you
of,
guys,
APX classics by ANTIC.
oops. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you're not looking for these, you're
Nope.
looking for the original ANTIC.
If they need to be archived, sure. But this project is specifically trying to find the APX versions of things. So manuals, AlgeCalc, basic arithmetic, basic renumber utility, renum, character set editor. This was like an early character editor. It was replaced by better ones later. Database/report system, Deep Blue Sea, which is amazing to me that manual hasn't been saved because that was a pretty popular program.
So there was a manual on the disc. That's different? You want the
Well,
original
I mean,
manual from?
some yes, there was a manual on disc, but something came on paper. I mean, they
Okay.
all something must have.
Right.
They never just sent out just a disc.
Right.
Even if
Okay.
it was just a 5-page thing of here's how to read the manual on disk, it came with something, and we want to find that. Disk menu, Dragon's Quest or a twist in the tail, geography, gossip. That one has a question mark. We're not actually sure that was ever released really by APX. Um, I should really recheck the catalogs on that. It's questionable. Home loan analysis, marketplace, and reverse I. Those are the ones we need the manuals for. And the ones we need the disks for, and again, we're looking for the APX versions of the disk. It's a shorter list. Basic utility for renumbering programs, BURP, which is a different renumbering utility than I mentioned before. Calculator, earth science, geography, that's on both lists. Home loan analysis, that's on both lists. The MECC industrial, instructional computing demonstration. Marketplace, that's on both lists, and variable changer. So those are the things we're looking for. You can help get us across the finish line on this by helping us find the disks and manuals for the rest of these APX programs.
Somebody out there has got those. You know they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yep. Anyway, so like I said, I'm sorry for talking so long. It's been a busy
That's
month.
a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot. Great work archiving stuff though, man. That's awesome. It's amazing that you continue to find so many things that haven't been archived before.
Yeah.
All right, Bradley.
If anybody knows about the the newsletters that those monthly time capsule newsletters that the Jersey Atari group collected. If you have one or know who might have them, man, that would be that
Yeah.
would just be incredible. Okay, I'll
Yeah, it would
stop.
be.
I'll stop now.
Okay. All right, Bradley, let's roll over to you. What have you been up to, sir?
Oh, well, my list is 3 or 4 times as long as
Okay.
Kay's.
Goody.
Okay.
Uh, but uh,
Good.
but I'll just not tell you anything like that, and I'll just say that we didn't have a local computer club meeting here in Atlanta in October, so nothing happened there. Um, but so I've
That
been
was a
listening.
venue issue, right? You didn't have
Yeah,
a venue. Yeah.
yeah. The church had issues with the plumbing, so we couldn't use it, and which has been fixed, but it just happened to be right during when we had our meeting scheduled. So we'll meet November 8th, and so but I use the time. Uh, well, I've been doing it a lot. Um, I'm I'm doing it again. I've been doing it. Almost completed it. Now I'm starting all over again. Sort of is I'm rearranging my office and all my retro stuff, and now I'm getting an entire room. Uh, I'm calling it a retro room. Yeah, I'm original, right? So, but and it's just going to be nothing but my vintage computer stuff, and get it out of my office here. And so I'm gonna have room for my Atari 800 is going to be on the center desk with some space so I can spread out my basic books and get back to that project I've been wanting to do. And so I'm looking forward to that. Uh, One of the other things I did is tangential, I guess, is a couple days ago I went to a board game convention here in Atlanta, and one of my other mini hobbies. But I made sure to wear my ANTIC shirt, and I met one person who he didn't know what the what ANTIC was, but he was a guy who used to have an Apple II, and so I gave him a card, and he says he's gonna, get the next, start listening to our, episodes. So if our listener, count doubles, that means we've got, he's downloaded the episode, and
Right. We'll look for that. We'll look for that
yeah,
bump.
yeah, and but I got out and about in a different venue with my T-shirt, and people saw it, and like I said, I did get to talk to one person about it for a while, and I I did talk to the guy who runs Southern Fried Gaming uh,
Expo.
Gaming Expo
Expo.
that we're going to be at the club will be at in June, and talked to him for a while. He was there promoting his show, and and by promoted our show a little bit. And while I was standing there, he even promoted our podcast a little bit, because since I was standing there, he would mention us to people. But I am, if I do make it to the show this year, I'm kind of torn on my exhibit. What am I going to do? And so I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to make it. See if I make it gaming related, because he really he sponsors a gaming expo, so he wants more gaming. So it's okay. Atari's
Not the
big
time
into
for the
gaming.
history of VisiCalc exhibit.
Yeah, yeah, and we have had guys do the history of Word and uh,
Mhm.
uh, and stuff like oh yeah, that's you know
Yeah,
that'll stop them.
yeah.
But
You could do war games or something. You like those SSI games and things. That might be
yeah,
fun.
it, that's that's a possibility I did think of, and so we'll see if I what happens. But if anybody's got any ideas, let me know. And and I guess and Randy. Well, I'm not gonna steal your thunder, Randy, but I'm gonna say I like this. The thing you're
You
about to
like
talk
this?
about. Yeah, the thing you're about to talk
Okay.
about.
So my list is probably one third as long as yours is, Brad. So yours is one third larger than Kay's. Mine's about one third of yours. But I had a couple things I did. So one is Atari poster. So we talked about this poster a long time ago. You can still buy it on Redbubble, but it's a basic programmer's guide poster. In fact, let me pull it up here. You guys see it very well?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's lots of useful information about the Atari 8-bit on there. I'd had it sitting here for a long time, and my wife asked me what I wanted to do with it, and I told her I wanted to get it hung on the wall somewhere. So she went out and got a nice frame for me, and I'm going to get it on the wall here. So I will have the Atari info at my fingertips for all the development that I'm planning to do. It'll be right there for me. So that's kind of fun. This is not the largest one you can get there. I think this is like the medium size. Brad, do you have one of these?
No, no. I was actually I went out to the Redbubble website a little while ago and looked at it, and I think I'm gonna get a copy of the medium one.
That's what I've got. I'm pretty sure that's what this one is.
Yeah,
But
and
everything's 25% off right now, so it's
yeah,
actually not a bad price.
yeah,
It's
and
it's laminated, so it's
oops.
protected. Yeah,
The, the medium poster is 33 inches by 22 inches square.
Oh, thank you.
right.
And I think also to go along with it, since I'm now having a retro room, Steve also put up the cover for DOS 2,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I think that'll go
go
nice
nice.
over my setup downstairs.
Cool. The other thing that, or something that I acquired is one of the tricky tutorials. So I have been
You've been hunting
trying
those down
to
forever. Tricky
acquire those
tutorial
for
number 7, disk utilities.
disk utilities.
Disk
Yep.
utilities. Nice.
Disk drives made easy, it says.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw this on eBay. It turned out that our friend Kevin Lund was the one who had posted it, and it was still a little pricier than I wanted. So I made him a bid, and he immediately accepted. And then he later told me that when he saw that I was the one that bid, he immediately accepted. He didn't care what the amount was.
Oh, you
So
should have offered 3 cents. And
yeah. So I appreciate that from Kevin that he was willing to do that. And then he quickly sent that out to me. So I still have quite a few left to acquire. It seems like people want pretty good money for these when they're out there,
hmm.
and then and then the shipping, adds quite a bit to it typically. But the other thing that I was involved in, so I watch a lot of auction sites,
Mm-hmm.
and there was an auction, an estate sale actually, in the town that I live in, which is Lebanon, Indiana. It's not a very big town. I was really surprised. There was like a house full of computer stuff in there in this auction. And I thought, surely I can get something out of this auction. I can go pick it up. That won't be a problem. I won't have to pay for shipping. I can just go get it. And there's quite a few Atari 8-bit items in there,
Mm-hmm.
including one of the items that was on the missing APX program list that Alan had posted and that you
Mm-hmm.
just talked about,
Hmm.
Kay. So it's kind of funny that you talked about it in the same episode that I was going to talk
Did you
about
get
something
it?
there. So I saw that there was home loan analysis on there,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought, oh man, I got to get that. I got to get that, if nothing else, to help with the archiving effort.
Mm-hmm.
So when the auction, so the way they do that is they run it for like 2 weeks, and I had the high bid going into the in the last few hours. Then they actually run it like a typical auction where people could just throw bids out there, and then when they're done bidding, it's over, right, for
Mm-hmm.
that item. And it was the first time that I had ever used that auction software. And this was the first program, or the first thing, the first item that came up that I was trying to bid on. And I could not figure out how to bid.
Hmm.
It was going for, I don't know, $15 or something. And there were several APX programs in the lot. And I could not figure out how to bid. And it turned out it was there were two things that you had to do in order to bid, because they wanted to make sure you weren't accidentally bidding.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see the second button that I needed to hit.
Mm.
And so I had to scream while I saw it get purchased for like, $15, and I could not bid because I would have bought it no matter, it wasn't going to go that high.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it. And
I'm
by the
disappointed.
second lot, I had figured out that, the right button, but the APX stuff was gone.
Yeah.
And I have no idea who bought it, obviously.
Sure.
So
Oh,
I
that's
missed out on it.
disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for trying.
I tried.
Hmm.
That's the only one that I saw, though, that was on the missing list.
Hmm.
But would have been nice to get it.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right. Well, that's it for me as far as what I've been up to. And you guys ready to jump into the Atari news?
Sure.
One thing I want to mention is that we decided to break up our news section a little bit differently. We wanted to basically organize it a little better. So we've got different categories within Atari News. So for instance,
after 10 years of doing this podcast,
after 12 years of doing a podcast, yeah, we decided we're gonna update it. So we've got a section for new and updated games, for instance, new and updated software, contests, you know, publications, those sorts of things. So we're going to go through them in that manner, and we're going to start out with new and updated games. And Brad is going to kick us off.
It's one of the nice things about doing a podcast is you, well, almost a huge amount of this stuff is stuff was not aware of. Like the first one here, I learned something. I learned there's a new game that I'm gonna have to find out about called FujiLlama. Not Fujiyama, FujiLlama,
Mhm.
and it's a multiplayer card game, and it's based on a card game called Llama, which in and of itself I've never heard of. I
Me either.
I guess I do live under a rock, or maybe it's a
I'd never heard of it either.
you know,
So you're not alone, Brad.
and uh, you know, maybe it's a kid's game because I'm looking at the rules for the original game, and it might be more of a kid's game. And
Could be.
by that
I know
time,
I jumped into the lobby and I saw this there and I tried to play it and it's like I don't know how to play this game.
yeah,
I don't know what llama is. So I jumped right back out.
and but yeah, it's designed. The original game is designed by Rainer Knizia, which is a very well-known board game designer. But anyway, so uh, you need to go find out about Fuji Llama.
So I found Llama on Board Game Geek. I'll put a link in. It is says 2 to 6 players. There's 20 minutes playing time, ages 8 and up. Alternative names for this game are a bunch. Are Don't Llama, Dump the Skunk, and some stuff in other languages. And this game was released in 2019. So isn't like a I don't know classic game like cribbage or something. It's something that someone invented recently. Looks cute. At least the original. I mean the version you can buy as the card game version looks cute.
Can't be too hard to learn, I'm sure.
Right.
All right, Kay's going to tell us about some new text adventures.
New Atari text adventures for the Atari 8-bit, which we learned about via our friends at AtariTeka. The BDB project group has unveiled count them, three new text adventures for Atari 8-bit computers, all based on Italian classics created by Bonaventura de Bello in the 1980s and reimagined by Gary Francis. Gary? Gary Francis. The games are called The Wrath of Anubis, Caribbean Treasure, and Unknown Dimension. Technically, the modern versions were developed using the Inform 6 compiler, accompanied by the Puny Inform library and the ZA abbreviation system. Runtime is via the Parchment interpreter, allowing direct online play or downloading files in Z5 format for use in compatible interpreters. So that means they can be run on your Atari 130XE, Atari ST, BBC Micro, certain Commodore machines, etc. Yeah, so new text adventures available for you.
And even more.
And even more. Sorry. And also just released, we'll keep reading. Even more adventures by the BDB project group. These are adaptations of Italian adventures originally created by the same person, looks like. These are Wild West, which was originally published for the ZX Spectrum and the Commodore 64. This is the first game in the Kenneth Johnson trilogy. Your wife and daughter have been kidnapped by bandits, so you off to rescue them. Hate when that happens. The second, I guess that's the fifth, is Tin Star, which was originally published for the Commodore 64 and ZX Spectrum. This is the second game in the trilogy. You are now a sheriff in Tucson, Arizona. When you were out of town, a gang of bandits robbed the bank and killed some locals, so you're off to catch them. And the sixth is the third in the trilogy, called Desperados, and it is this time around some outlaws have attacked a small community of settlers, kidnapped the girls, and killed everyone else, then escaped across the border where you have no jurisdiction. So you have to leave your tin star behind and set off to hunt them down. Fun. All
Lots of
right,
new
so
adventure games.
6 new adventure games to play. That's great.
I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about this BDB group, that
No,
their BDB project group
yeah, I don't know what that is.
that is putting these out, but it's pretty cool. It's always nice to see new software. So,
Absolutely.
okay, we're going to move into new and updated software. So this would be non-game sort of stuff. And okay, go ahead.
Sure.
You got
Yeah,
a
a
couple
couple
here.
couple of quick and related things that I saw on the Atari Age forum. The Atari 8-bit software preservation initiative once in a while does a a giant file of everything, just all the Atari stuff that they can release. The last time they did it, I think, was more than a couple of years ago. But now there's a new batch of Atari 8-bit preserved software dated October 19th, 2025. You can download it using BitTorrent or just download the big old file from the old-fashioned way. And it's basically everything. If you're a completist and you want everything there is, this is the way to do it. So that's great. And related in the forum, Atari, there's a forum topic called Atari Source Code All Revisions, where you can download a big fat packet of all the source code for all the Atari 8-bit computers, and they just came out with a new version, including restored source code for a Polish 128XT/192XT operating system. So this is neat that you can, I mean, if you're a source code programming type of geek, you can download all that, look at it. But even if you're not, you can download this thing. There's a README file. There's all the assembly code and CA65 and original source code and geeky stuff. But there's a README file, which is a long and interesting and detailed HTML file that includes information on how to build the OS ROM images, but also a long history of the Atari OS, which just like every version and who created them, and the little versions made for Sweden or whatever. And here's the 600 XL version, but then production was suspended and they changed this and that, and it's just a super geeky many-page outline of every version that was released, the various Arabic versions. And anyway, it very detailed and lovingly crafted document that someone might want to read, even if you're not going to play with the code itself.
Were these were all the Atari OS released versions, not not OS updates that were made by other people later on to.
I think some of them are hacked
Oh,
versions, like
okay.
for different languages and stuff. But like the Altera versions aren't in there.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got some also under software updates. We've got some emulator news. There has been an update to the Atari 800 Mac X software, and it now officially and fully supports using FujiNet with the Atari 800 Mac X. So
Yay.
that's great. And that was released by Mark Atari Matt Grebe, who is one. Is that how you pronounce his last name? Grebe?
I don't know.
Grebe.
We-
So anyway, we appreciate that. It's nice to have the official 6.1 release out there. Also wanted to mention that Paulo Garcia continues his fantastic work on the Fuji-San emulator, which is also based on the Atari 800 emulator, but it has more an emphasis on the UI than some of the other emulators do. So he's got version 1.0.5 out there now, which has some stability improvements, bug fixes, enhanced cross-platform audio, joystick support, ROM loading fixes, and better audio quality. So he's done a lot of audio work as well on this thing. So great. It's nice to have emulator options.
Yes, it is. Finally.
Yeah, lots of them. And then also on the emulator front and the whole development cycle front, Eric Carr has updated his VS Code extension. This just came in today, in fact, so this is hot news. He's updated his VS Code extension for Fast Basic that he's got, and I mentioned before. He's published a new version. It now supports the latest Fast Basic 4.7, which had some fixes in it. And it also fully supports FujiNet PC and invoking Atari 800 Mac X, and
Great.
having that whole development cycle. So that's all out there now. I'm going to give that a try now that he's updated that.
Beautiful.
So good work for Eric. Okay, let's move into publications, magazines, newsletters, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, Atari Insights, the October issue is out. Some of the things in there in the programming and development section are thinking in code, mastering logic with OSS, Basic, XL, and XE, and also a thing about Basic XL's move command, and some stuff about action and logo. And in the tools and tricks section, printing from Basic in Altera without a real printer. And in the community events section, a nice write-up about VCF Midwest 2025, my on-the-ground adventure. Someone's report from having gone to that show. Atari Insights is a free newsletter that you can subscribe to, and they just send you an email every time a new one comes out.
Yeah, John Zilke does a great job with that.
Oh, yeah.
Brad, what about Compute Gazette?
All right. In the Compute Gazette October issue, some Atari-related features. We have Scare Waves, a deep dive into the art of creating terror on an 8-bit platform.
All you have to do is mention the Commodore 64.
Yeah. Or you're out of memory. See, we have in the there's a couple of columns. One is Learn 6502 Assembly. Continue your low-level coding journey in some assembly required. And then there's a column for sound programming by it's the one done by Jerry White.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And then in the podcast corner, it's a new column. And this is not Atari related. Why am I reading this? Who put this in here?
I don't know. I'm not sure who put that in there. I've never heard of this podcast, so I don't know.
Well, no one has. Anyway, there's a new column called Podcast Corner, and in the debut column, it looks at a podcast that we actually have heard of. It's called Floppy Days, and so. Then also,
And by the way, this was not written by me. It was written by a listener, and I had nothing to do with getting it out there. So
and it was
Just saying.
money well spent, Randy.
Right. Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
got good return on your $3.
Yeah.
All
Um,
right. And also, if you go to the Computes Gazette website, uh, you can get a free abbreviated sample of issue number 1 if you want to see, get an idea of what it looks like. There's a PDF download you can get for free.
yeah, I've gone ahead and subscribed to the magazine, the print magazine. It really, they do such an excellent job with it. It's very nice. So I'll be getting all future ones. All right, and then also we had a English version is now available of ABBUC Magazine Special number 56, which is the one that covers all of the games and the hardware entries in the software and hardware competitions, respectively, for ABBUC. That we'll be talking about actually shortly within this podcast. But the English version is now available for a download.
Nice.
And then there are also so a lot of magazine content. Old School Gamer number 48. All three of us received. Yeah, Kay's holding it up there. All the three of us received a copy of it. We really appreciate getting that. Bill Lang was instrumental in getting us a copy. He happens to have an article in this one. I think he typically does have an article in Old School Gamer. This is number 48. His article is Gaming on the Atari, on 8-bit Atari. So you'll probably want to take a look at that. There's also some other articles that have some relation to the Atari with some talk about arcade games like Dig Dug, arcade gun game memories, Nickel City Pinball Club, the Long Island Retro Game Expo, and then there's also a bookshelf with book reviews. So it's a nicely printed magazine. I'm impressed with the magazine, and obviously it's a lot more game oriented than some of the other magazines. It's totally game oriented, but if that's your thing, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, nice quality magazine.
It is.
Yeah, yes, it is a quality magazine and quality content, but also like it's the pages are thick. I mean,
Yeah.
this magazine is not inexpensive to subscribe to. I mean, none of them are, but I mean, and I'm not disparaging it. It's thick. However, like when back in the old days of getting computer magazines, the pages were like paper thin, and the magazines were cheap. You know, I mean, these are full color pages on high quality thick paper, and I should be grateful for this, and I am. But part of me longs for the day where you could get a 300-page magazine that was mostly advertisements printed on toilet paper, and it was $3, you know? And anyway, so I guess
A computer shopper, is that what you're saying?
computer shopper, bite, yeah.
So there you go, Kay. I think you need to bring back computer shopper.
Right.
Just
Yes.
that'd be very cool.
Okay, I'll get right on that.
All right. Well, our next section is new and updated hardware, including modern upgrades. And I'm going to take this first one. We've talked about several times on the podcast about the infamous Atari 1027 printer belt that every machine in existence, the original ones have just exploded because the plastic does not hold up over the years. And there have been attempts to remake it. I was attempt a few years ago on Atari Age, and I got a couple of them. And first one I tried explode. Actually, I only got one, and it exploded when I put it in there. I probably did something wrong. But along recently, along comes Jerry Ellsworth, and she posts on Blue Sky. Actually, she says, "Folks on Atari Age made a 3D model of the dissolving character belt of doom in the 1027 printer. She 3D printed a rigid master and made a mold so she could cast it in durable urethane. Should outlast the rest of the printer now." So, I mean, it sounds like Jerry just came along and solved the problem. At least I hope she did. She said she made one for herself. She had some leftover, if other people wanted them. I jumped right in and said, "Hey, I would have loved to get one." So she said she'd make me one, throw it in an envelope, and send it to me. And so I'm waiting to get that from Jerry. So I'm excited to see how well this works and whether the problem is indeed solved. And I can start using my 1027 printer again. That would be way cool.
That would be cool. Now, you some time ago you had bought something else, and yeah, that didn't work. And I think I bought it too. I didn't even bother installing it, and because I'm lazy. Um, yeah,
I did get another couple from ABBUC as well that I never did do anything with,
right.
but I suspect they're not as sturdy as what Jerry has
Yeah,
just
yeah.
created here.
Jerry doesn't do half measures. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet it's great. Neat. Let me know how
So if
that
I'm going to
works.
spend my time replacing that belt, I'm probably going to use Jerry's and give it a try.
Yeah,
So,
neat. Please report back.
Bradley?
All right. Let's see. Yeah, the guy who brought us the 130XE Pixel Perfect Replica project is back again with checking the interest on a replacement motherboard, replica motherboard for the Atari XE, and then also the 600 XL. So the if you're interested in either of those motherboards, there is a link in the show notes to the thread on Atari Age because, he's going through and, creating replicas of boards that can be then, fully recreated,
The,
because,
the 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 cool thing is he's using AI to help make these boards like even better and to produce an exact replica. It's kind of fascinating to follow what he's done. And it sounds like
Mhm.
the 130XE board is actually complete, and he's ready to put that into production.
Yeah.
And he's planning on including their plans for a new keyboard, function keys, and case, so you could actually build an entirely new 130XE if you can find all the chips, I guess, to put on the motherboard, right? And yeah, pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Just find one of the other boards that has died because, as time goes on, more of the some of them. Good thing it's one of the good things about not having clocks in many 8-bit computers is more 8-bit computers are going to survive than 16-bit computers because the 16-bit computers had clocks and batteries, and the batteries are leaking and totally
Mm.
destroying the motherboards.
I know that's a problem with like Macintosh
The Mac,
computers, the old Macintosh
Macs,
computers.
uh, Amigas, I had two Amiga 3000 towers. Both of them were destroyed by the battery. And the just But the 8 bits, there's no clock, so there's no battery. And,
Yeah, that's true.
So hey, not having a clock was actually a saved us.
Yeah, never thought about that. Yeah, it sounds like Peter is also planning on doing a 1200 XL replica board as well, somewhere down the path in next year, it sounds like.
Yeah, just the keyboard. What you can do, there's only one source for the keyboard if he's going to use the original. Is the only source for the keyboard membranes is uh, best. Yeah,
Hmm.
and that I'm aware of. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jerry Ellsworth could print up a couple just in her spare time.
I bought one. I need two, but anyway.
All right, let's move into contests. And this is breaking news. They actually held the meeting yesterday for the ABBUC. Well, it was the ABBUC general meeting, and they had the voting results for the software and hardware competitions that have been going on for some time now. And so the voting results just came in. I just saw them this morning, actually. There were 13 entries in the software category. Der Schranker.
You watch your phraseology. Did you call me?
Der Schranker 4 was the winner on the software side. I don't know, is Der Schranker? I don't speak German, so I don't know what it is exactly. Witch Shift was second. Hardsnake, Kobo 800, Assimilate, Pen Go Crazy, Woodworm, Yahtzee Classic, Blocket, Eat More, Gemini, 1K ATASCII, and Center. So, and the prize money ran from 686 euro to 100 down to 124 euro. So not bad money for that. And I know that Phil Sand created a video that shows all 13 of the games running on real hardware. So we've got a link to that you can also go check out the Atari Age forum and download all the apps and play them yourself. On the hardware side, there were only 3 entries. There was the Decent Cart 2350, which is by Screaming at the Radio. We have mentioned this before on the podcast. This is that very cool cartridge that's similar to the A800 Pico cart, but has a little screen on it, and I guess a lot of other possible capabilities as well on there. That was the winner, and you had 300 euro prize money for that. And coincidentally, or actually as of this morning, Screaming at the Radio said, coincidentally, I was working this morning on adding Wi-Fi and removing level shifters on the Decent Cart. Watch this space for updates. So I think that's going to be a very cool hardware item now that the contest is over, we should see people starting to create these and should be able to buy them. And personally, I can't wait to get one. Second was the TASM ARI, which basically allows your Atari to communicate with other IoT components that run the Tasmoda OS, which I'm not familiar with, but it's some sort of home control software, home assistant software.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
your Atari can become a control center. You can turn the lights on and off and that sort of thing. Brad, are you familiar with this?
I'm not familiar with Tasmoda, but I am familiar with Home Assistant
Mm.
software. I've got that running here in my house to
Ah,
for
okay.
stuff. But so I'm gonna have to look into this. Just look, have my Atari. It says make your morning coffee, and this I'm gonna have to buy an espresso machine now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It uses an ESP32 microcontroller. So very nice. Your
Yeah,
Atari can
yeah, it's interesting.
can
I'll have to check that
participate.
out.
And then Project Opto was next on the list, which allows the use of wireless controllers to work with a multi-joy. So that's always been a problem with the multi-joy, which can give you up to, is it 8 or 16? Um,
I think it's 8, but
I know I've got one that has 8, but I thought it could go to 16. Maybe I'm wrong. But the problem was that you couldn't use wireless controllers with that. And now with Project Opto, it would allow you to actually use wireless controllers, which is very cool as well. So some really neat hardware in the contest. Congratulations to everybody that participated.
All right. Oops. Um, appears we don't have a link for a ATASCII Compo 2025. So you have to find it on your own because I don't have a link handy. But
Well, we'll have the link in there
yeah,
by the time it's published.
you can still submit entries to this competition by this Friday, this coming Friday, October 10th, 2025 at 1900
No,
CEST.
it's
Uh,
till no, it's till the 28th.
I'm sorry, presentation of entries. I misread. Presentation of the entries is Friday. Uh, voting is, yeah, until Sunday, November 2nd. And then the results will be on November 7th. But you can submit your entries, like Randy said, until the 28th of October, 2025. And
it says
it's,
now. Okay, so I found the webpage and whatever,
thank you.
but it says the competition. It says now with colors, and indeed there are background colors on some of the on the
ATASCII.
example, and I wonder how they do that because traditionally, I mean, it's probably done with player missiles, but with players in the background. Traditionally, the ATASCII art is you get one color and that's it, which is why Commodore uh, art, graphical art, text art has always been kind of cooler because they have colors. But here there are some colors in the background. It's not a
Hmm.
lot, so that's why I'm thinking it's probably done with players. But I'm curious about that. Hmm. Okay, neat.
All right. Well, we're going to move into our last category under news here before we get to the show updates
Hmm.
is other. So it's catch all for
Other
things that don't
catch-all.
fit.
Yeah, maybe we'll refine what exactly what this is. I don't know. But the only thing we have for it is Ernie Smith just a couple days ago posted an article on Tedium, which is a just great blog, interesting topics that he finds and writes about. I just love it. TDM, he wrote an article called Waves of Interference. The reason that the PC industry first landed on the FCC's radar had little to do with the computers themselves and everything to do with the electrical noise they emitted. Blame the CB radio. And it talks about the Atari 800 because it says a classic example of a heavily shielded computer that came out during the early era of FCC regulation. And it says in a 2022 disassembly of the device, Adrian Black of Adrian's Digital Basement speculated that Warner Communications, Atari's owner at the time, likely pushed its subsidiary to take RF shielding seriously. Anyway, it's an interesting article, and there's a little bit of Atari link in there. It's worth checking out.
Actually, Kay, and thank you for that. But actually, there is one other
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
item under other. I came across this on Facebook. Martin Grundy from the UK has continued his series of the Atari 8-bit computers wall calendar. He's got a 2026 version. It each month features a high-res illustration of a classic Atari game released that month, paired with a brief review. And you can pre-order it. And it's an A4 size, priced at £12.99. It says with international distribution. I know how hard it is to get things from UK, particularly, to the US right now. But selected games will include Henry's House, Summer Games, Pole Position, Boulder Dash, Arkanoid, Spelunker, Hardball, Spy vs. Spy, among others. So a lot of well-known games will be covered there. And if you're interested, you can contact Martin Grundy directly through his Facebook profile to place orders or inquire. So looks pretty cool.
Yes.
I like to get these things. All right, let's move into upcoming computer shows.
Maybe if I had a retro room, I could put up a calendar. But
Well, yeah, you could. Or, yeah, you'd have to take down your Pac-Man poster there.
yeah, it's not going to
So
happen.
it's probably not going to happen. Yeah.
All right, let's move into upcoming computer shows. And the first one is somebody want to take this one. This came from our friend Bill Lang.
There is
Yeah.
one show left in 2025, according to our calendar. That's the Atari Party 2025, which is November 22nd, from noon to 4 at the Quakertown, Pennsylvania train station.
And I love this, and I love that they have these. I wish they could last longer, like an entire weekend,
Mhm.
and still be just Atari focused.
Yeah. So
Someday we'll get a full show. But hey, for now, this is it. This is it's just a long way for me. It's like 800 miles or something to Quakertown. It's too long.
I looked it up, and it would be like a 14-hour drive for me.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, no.
for 4 hours. Unfortunately, for 4 hours.
Yeah. And if my son was still living in DC, I could probably swing that and drive up to DC. But no, since he's
We've
gone
got
off.
several shows in 2026, particularly early 2026, you might want to start planning for now.
Yeah.
We thought we would at least mention, starting with Vintage Computer Festival Montreal, January 24th through the 25th in, I guess that's Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sure.
And I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of the town there, but
Yeah. Well, Montreal.
Yeah, it's in Montreal, not Quebec.
Montreal. Yeah, we'll say Montreal. I can pronounce that one.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody want to take the next one?
The Vintage Electronics Expo, January 31st, 2026, is in the Oakland Expo Center, but not in Oakland, California. It's in Waterford, Michigan. And let's see, the Vintage Electronics Expo. They have vintage computers.
They do.
Okay.
They do. I saw some pictures of some previous shows, and they had a nice collection of computers there.
Okay, cool. That'd be interesting. And well, I'll just, since I'm jabbering, I'll do the next one. Vintage Computer Festival SoCal is February 14 through 15 in Orange, California. Are you going this year, Randy?
Unlikely because we're going to Disney World at the end of December, so I
Ah,
doubt that I'll be able to go turn around that quickly
Well,
and
then
go
you
to
can go to
SoCal.
Disneyland, which is not far from Orange.
no.
Well, that's what we did the first time we went.
Yeah,
So we
well.
went to the very first one 2 years ago,
Mm. Mhm.
and we went to Disneyland while we were there.
Did you go to Knott's
Yeah.
Berry Farm? So you could do that.
We did not go to Knott's Berry Farm, no.
Yeah. So are you going to
Oh,
Kay?
It's a possibility, but don't know yet for sure.
oh, yeah. It's very nice, I have to say. It's a nice venue and it's big. So it's certainly worth traveling to.
Yeah, I'm toying with the idea of going out to California, but I need to be there the following weekend on the
Mm,
21st. So
stay
I
a
don't
whole
know
week.
if, yeah, I don't know if I can, you know, we'll see. If it
Yeah.
works, it works.
I'll take this next one since I'm involved with it. It's the Indie Classic Computer and Video Game Expo, March 20th through the 22nd at the Wyndham Indianapolis Airport Hotel in Indianapolis, Indiana. So this will be our fourth one, and we hope to get more people come. We got a new venue, larger venue, not nearly the size of VCF Midwest, unfortunately, but we're kind of excited about the new venue. So come if you can.
And then
Jay?
in April 2026, we have VCF East, April 17th through 19th, 2026, at the Info Age Science and History Museums in Wall, New Jersey. I will be there. I believe you will be there too, Randy.
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to try because I was invited to be on a panel there. So I'm
Yeah.
going to try to be there. I'm going to use
Nice.
that as my excuse to my spouse that I have to go. I'm on a panel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Brad?
And Midwest Gaming Classic um, is April 24 through 26 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And then VCF Southwest is May 29th through the 31st at the Westin Dallas Fort Worth Airport. Obviously, Dallas, Texas.
And then RetroFest 2026 is May 30th through 31st at the Steam Museum of the Great Western Railway in Swindon, United Kingdom.
And I said June earlier, I misspoke. Uh, Southern Fried Gaming Expo is July 31st through August 2nd here in Atlanta, Georgia. And we're getting expanded this year. We're going to get a bigger, bigger area. So there'll be more stuff and, come see lots of stuff.
Yes, sir. I'm going to try to see if I can get out there. Finally, FujiLlama is August 26th through the 30th in Langenfeld, Germany, a must-see show for everyone. If you can make it over to Germany, you should try.
Bucket list show.
Okay, that's it for shows. Let's move into YouTube videos. Keep it rolling here. So I only had a couple that I wanted to highlight. There were 99% of the stuff out there is just people doing a playthrough of old games, and I have no interest in those whatsoever. But there was a nice retrospective of the Atari 400 and 800 called A Brilliant Failure, the Atari 400 and 800 story by Little Car. Well done, despite calling the 400 and 800 a failure in the title. It seems like it's a well done little video, and you might want to check it out. And then Steve and Jeff Fulton, if you want additional Atari news, of course, they cover all the Atari stuff, not just 8-bit computers, but they do cover 8-bit computers as well. Steve and Jeff Fulton's Atari Now, October 2025 news is out there on YouTube. It includes the ABBUC software contest entries that we just talked about. There's also a brief blurb on the RM800XL. Okay, what about archive.org?
At archive.org, some interesting stuff. Our friend Alan Bushman has scanned some stuff. He got some Atari Program Exchange things, which are not on the stuff we need list because he just found them and scanned them. So we have the manual for Math Mission, which I believe we never had before, which is learning educational software by Dave Cosmell. And we finally have the manual for that. And in, when I found out about that, I researched Dave Cosmal, and it turns out he died in just last year, and just about a year ago, actually, in August, in in October 2024. Was never able to get him for an interview. So Dave, Math Mission has been preserved, and Dave has not. And Alan also got the manual for WordGo, another APX program, another educational program that we did not have the manual for until just now. So WordGo, building word skills by blending letter combinations. We now have that manual thanks to Alan. He also scanned Atari XL product line fact sheets, which is more than 50 pages of information from Atari about what you were going to find in the various Atari XL computers, including the 1400 XL, the 1450 XLD, there's a bunch of fact sheets. The Atari 1020 printer plotter, the Atari 1027 printer does not mention that it will be unusable without Jerry Ellsworth's help. Atari 1050 disk drive. So all these stats, and also this product announcement for Mickey and the Great Outdoors, and Donkey Kong and ET Phone Home and Microsoft Basic 2 and a bunch of other stuff. So those are interesting reads. A person whose username is archiving is important has uploaded a bunch of interesting things, including I Heart Atari News, which is in French, a newsletter called Atari Life, which was published by Warner. I think I've seen this before. And the Atari Games Players Club newsletter. So those are fun. And our relatively new friend Ted Scretchy has been uploading newsletters, and he continues to upload a bunch of newsletters from the XIO3 Garden City Atari Computer Enthusiasts Club. And in October he did about six issues. So he's just continuing to churn those out, I guess, as time permits. That is the new 8-bit stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
All righty. And I think you found something GitHub wise as well.
Yeah, one thing on GitHub. I know very little about this. It's just added a few days ago. It's called Atari ASM Moon. I'm going to tell you everything I know about it. Space Company strategy game for Atari 8-bit. Sorry, I'm going to start again. Space Company strategy game for 8-bit Atari in assembly. That's it. And it's published under the MIT license, so it's real open source. And there's no screenshots, there's no instructions on how to play. There's just delightful assembly source code. So this might be a fun project to see what this is and if it's fun and if it even works. And yeah, but I would encourage whoever made this to, at least put in a screenshot or a short description. So it might be good. I don't know. pay your money, you take your
Great.
chances. Yeah.
That's right. All right. Let's move to listener feedback. Brad, you want to tell us about one piece here that we got?
All right. Amin Girasol, sorry. He writes, she writes, they write, if there's more than one. Finding out more about Chris Crawford, I listened to episode 4 of the Atari podcast, and the glutton I am. Also listened to episode 1 to find the podcast seems to have emerged complete and fully formed from the very start. Did they listen to the anyway?
I don't think they listened to the same first episode that we
Yeah.
recorded.
No. I'm going to enjoy catching up with all the historical episodes during the winter into the new year. After all, these episodes are about long obsolete computers, so the podcast remains ever fresh. Now, that's absolutely true. Ever fresh. I have,
I've always been called Fresh. Yeah.
yeah, and I've been called ever, but Randy, Kay, Randy, and Brad, thank you so much to each of you over 12 years of consistent podcasting about my favorite retro computing platform, the 8-bit Ataris. Well, you're very, very welcome.
Very nice. Very nice feedback. Appreciate it. Okay, gentlemen, I think we've come to the end of the show, unless you have anything else you want to say. I think we're there. It's all actually kind of a long one.
Yeah. Nope. I think that's it. I just want a little note that I don't think we'll be recording an episode in November because I will be traveling and then Thanksgiving. So the next episode will be in December. So listen to this episode at 1/2 speed to make it last longer.
That's right.
There you go. Yeah. Of course, there's a huge back catalog to listen to as well. So what are we up to? 122 regular episodes and nearly 500 interviews.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's plenty to listen to.
Yep.
All right. Well, we thank all three of you who listened to the show, and if we see a bump to 4, we'll be absolutely ecstatic. But we would love it if you would provide feedback, even more feedback than we got this time. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know of any Atari 8-bit memories you've got. Any you can kind of, just keep to yourself. No, I'm kidding. We welcome feedback at all times. But there are many ways you can contact us, such as Kay's going to tell you how you can contact us via email.
ANTIC@AtariPodcast.com.
And Brad's going to tell us about Mastodon.
And that's at Atari Podcast at oldbytes.space.
Our website with show notes and links to all the great stuff we've talked about is at ataripodcast.com. Our Facebook is at facebook.com/groups/Atari Podcast. We do have the Discord server. Doesn't get a ton of activity. We'd like to see more activity.
Come on, people, get on there.
Yeah, get on there. The link is on the website, and you can stream Antic off of many different podcatchers, or podcast directories. So that's it. Thanks everyone. Thank you guys for spending and talking quality Atari time.
Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for podcasting.
See y'all
Bye.
next month.
Bye.